Yes, yes, yes. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2.
Yo, yo,
This
yo.
this is the BLAZETHELION podcast. I am your host, Blaze the Lion. This is the second week of this month's theme, which is community. Yes, yes, community. Episode 31. This week's podcast is sponsored by Star Child Social. All right. Digital marketing. They specialize in social media and branding and building your website and your logo. They've also created lots of my material, flyers for this podcast, and lots of promo that you all have seen. So if you'd like more information on how to build your brand, how to increase your social media presence, you can go to starchildsocial.com. Yes, indeed. Also, if you'd like to support, support. There are 3 tiers. There are 3 levels. You can go to anchor.fm/blazetheline/support. And you can be a monthly contributor for as little as 99 cents a month, all the way up to $10 per month. And of course, you get gear, you get apparel, you get Blaze the Lion podcast shirts, you get access to webinars, different seminars and events that we have coming up for this year and beyond. Now, tonight's guest is someone who is cool. Real cool. Real cool. Cool as a cucumber. I think there's a cucumber. Is there a cucumber on the shirt?
Probably.
Somewhere in there. This person is definitely involved in his community. Definitely. This person is passionate about his community. This person takes his job seriously. So seriously that I doubt for him it's even a job, it's even work anymore. He lives and breathes it. This is somebody that you've probably seen everywhere, whether it's TV, whether it's at events, whether it's on social media. This is somebody who is very well connected, but still humble. This is somebody who is from Jamaican heritage. Yes, indeed. This is somebody that I've had the pleasure of knowing personally. And man, just seeing the connection, seeing the networking, seeing the branding. And again, as I said earlier, seeing that humility, that to me stood out. And I had to have this person on my podcast. Tonight's guest has done work not just in South Florida, but beyond. This person is most likely going to outdo me tonight on this podcast, but that's okay. I'll give him the spotlight. This person is none other than Mr. Founder of Soulflow Vegans himself, Sean Russell. Welcome to the pod, my brother.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I hear like those introductions on like Gin Chance and those sorts of podcasts. So I'm super humbled that you had those kind words for me. Thank you.
Oh, of course. It is all true. So I gave my little introduction about you, but share with the people a little bit about yourself.
I mean, I easiest way to describe what I do is I am a community organizer and media producer. And throughout my life, that's what I've been doing. It's my hobby, it's my passion. And it took several years, but both of those ended up colliding into what I do now. And so I've been at it for 26 plus years.
Wow.
Straight editing videos, creating stories, creating my aesthetic, creating how I tell stories through different mediums. Throughout the years, I've learned how to do podcasts, videos, graphic design, web design, right now I manage, there's more to that list, but I've managed to put all that together into a marketing agency that I now run, and I provide my services to other clients. Right now I'm in the space of more of like a producer, where I'm always looking for talent that I can bring together, show them my style, and then I can continue to, grow and do these sort of projects like Soulflow Vegans and put my energy into that, because even in that, I'm able to add value to people who do work, alongside of me and my marketing agency and the other projects that I run. So yeah, I have so many worlds that I've lived in and so many industries that I'm just going to give you an overview, and then we could probably talk about it, at different times in the conversation. But that's me in a nutshell.
All right, all right. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's start with what's right here in our face. The shirt I'm wearing, the shirt that we are wearing, rather, Soflo Vegans. So tell me when that started, how that started, and why that started.
So Soulflow Vegan started with my personal journey, my personal vegan journey. One of the things we do on our podcast is we always ask, what's your vegan origin story? So here's mine. In 2008, previously to that, I was discovering different things in terms of health. I went through some certain courses where I learned everything, like what nuts do, what salt does, all this type of stuff. And like, it's like Pandora's box. Once it's open, you can't put it all back in there,
Yeah.
so you can't unknow what you know. So from there, I started to dig a little bit deeper. I cut dairy out of my diet. I cut red meat out of my diet. And this is like maybe 5-6 years before I even went vegan. And then 2008 was the first time I tried it out. I did it more as a challenge to see if I could do it. I was rocking and rolling for about like 6 to 8 months. Went to travel to California, of all places. And if you know anything about the vegan community, California is like one of the biggest places in the world.
Yes, yes.
Going to show you, I didn't know where anything was. I didn't know. I don't even know if Happy Cow was a thing around that time. I didn't know about it. I wasn't like a fruits and vegetables sort of vegan. I was more transitional. So I was eating a lot of rice and, transitional foods and stuff. So I didn't know what it was. I fell off, and it took until 2013 for me to jump back on. And what I added that was missing was community, which perfectly ties into what we're talking about here. I realized that for me to stay interested, I get to build a community around it, because that's what I've been doing in my life. But before, it was focused on interest. So music, education, anime and manga. I built similar Soulflow Vegans type projects around those interests. But after my interest kind of waned, so did those projects. This I knew was going to be different, because it wasn't just an interest. It was my lifestyle. It was something that I was going to be dedicated to. And at first, it was more tied into the project, building the community. That was more my interest. But as I start meeting the people in the community, meeting people like Susan Hargreaves from Animal Hero Kids, I always shout her out when I have these interviews, because she helped me really, get connected to the animal rights side of it, which led me more to the compassion side of it, which is my answer of why I'm vegan. I'm vegan because compassion, because I see that as like a far unattainable goal on my not unattainable goal, but at a goal that is like my North Star. That's always going to drive me no matter what stage I am in my life, seeking compassion and being a compassionate person, because that's a practice. That's not a destination for me. So that's why I do what I do, is because sometimes I could see myself not being compassionate towards someone or towards a situation. And for me, compassion is not necessarily about being nice. It's about coming from a place of understanding when and how I move. So I one of the things I love to do is just listen to somebody to see where they're coming from, and then act accordingly. So yeah, so that's why I do started Soulflow Vegans. 2014, long story longer, 2014, I became part of a group called South Florida Vegans on Meetup. I was on that for a while, went to a few events here and there. Around 2016, I want to say, the organizer from that group dropped out. And I already had a paid account on Meetup because I was running other communities. I took it on, rebranded it as Soulflow Vegans, and then we just started growing from there. In 2017, we've launched, and since then, we've hosted and supported over 300 events just in the South Florida area. If you go on our website, we literally have a timeline of, most of the vegan events, at least the vegan events we were involved in, from that time period. So you might see you'll definitely see yourself in there. You were in a bunch of those events supporting, supporting on our team. So yeah, so that's where we are right now. We just can continue to grow year after year. We get to meet so many people, like through podcasts just like this, and just continue to grow and seeing what South Florida has to offer the world, not just the vegans, but just the world, because we're an amazing place. If you haven't noticed, and if you lived here and you lived your whole life, take a moment and just realize where you are. There's no other place in the world like South Florida.
Yeah, especially now in this COVID season, like everybody want to come to Florida.
Yeah, you should have come to when we're doing the census. Now we got all these people in.
Right?
We can get in.
Everybody's like, oh, Florida. Everybody want to come to Florida now. It's funny. So funny. But awesome. So for those who aren't vegan, they may not know this, that there's several reasons why people become vegan, right? And there are different types of vegans. So, I went through that beginning stage where I didn't really know what I was doing first time, right? So it was like, well, let me get protein. Let me get all this protein. So lots of the mock meats and protein shakes and just lots of stuff. And then gradually that's the thing that I love about this vegan journey, is that you're constantly learning. And, being vegan in South Florida could be vastly different from being vegan in the islands or vegan in Asia, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I didn't know about things like vegan hair products and soaps and the deodorant and all this other stuff. That took time. And then, so it's definitely a journey. So I just, I want to say thank you, because you were one of the first people I met brand new in this vegan journey. And you were definitely one of the forces that made me realize how cool veganism was. And because, when you're not vegan, and not to stay on this topic too long, but, when you're not vegan and when you're outside looking at vegans, we're viewed upon as weird, or different, or strange, you know what I mean? Or that we only eat salads and, all that stuff. So it's definitely a journey. And but I'm loving every bit of it. So, all right. So for Soulflow Vegans, can you remember in your community the first Soulflow Vegan event? And how was that?
Okay.
Successful or disaster?
I have two entries into that. I have a pre-launch and a launch. Okay. So the first official Soulflow Vegans event I held in the conference room of my apartment complex. And I put a message out, I think, to that membership, that group I mentioned, so South Florida Vegans or Soulflow Vegans. And it wasn't actually like 10, 12 people show up. Everybody it was like a potluck. I had some snacks, some little giveaways, and I pretty much just had people give ideas of what this could be. So people were throwing out, you should do this, you should do that, you should have this on the website, you should do that. So that was the first official event, and it's cool. I still see a few people that came to that event showing up even now to, Soulflow. Shout out to Chester and Carmen. I love seeing you guys at events, because you were actually at one of the first events we ever had. So that was pre-launch. Okay. Actual event that we kicked off was a paint and sip event in Mass District at Arts and Crafts Social Club. They've gone by different names since then, and I think they actually don't do it anymore. But that was the first event that we had, and that's actually up on our website. So that was a successful event. We had almost every single chair filled up. People had a good time. So that was the first actual official event.
Nice. do you think that it was, do you think that the timing of it, because, veganism has become popular the past few years with the documentaries that have dropped. So from about, what was it, maybe from 2017 or 2016, um, it, a lot more people were curious as to what this vegan journey was about. So you think that had that helped you, or that had like anything to do with the success of your events?
I think that we have waves of veganism, people jumping into veganism, and it's usually around documentaries. So I want to say my dates may be off, but 2014 was like the whenever Forks Over Knives came out. That was a
Okay.
big time period. Then you had Cowspiracy, which I think we were riding the wave of when we started. I think Cowspiracy was 2016 maybe. So
Okay.
from 2016 to the next one I personally experienced with Soulflow was What the Health. That was a
Yeah,
huge,
that was
probably the
huge.
biggest one that I've personally experienced. Forks Over Knife was probably equally as big, but I didn't experience that. I was a vegan around that time.
Right.
So that, and then we had Game Changers, which was another big boom. Then we had Seaspiracy, so like
Recently.
I feel like every 2 years there's a big documentary that comes out that gets a lot of people jumping into the vegan space. And I feel like 2019 until now has been the biggest push that I've seen globally in terms of veganism, with a lot of major significant events happening around the world. So I'm excited. And then obviously the pandemic and a lot of the conversation going about, you taking care of your health, people being open to trying different options from the health aspect of it, because you were talking earlier about the different reasons why people go vegan. So I definitely see that. So there's a lot of things that kind of are stacking up in the right order to really, create an atmosphere where people are open to learning more about veganism.
Yeah. The documentaries really, I think documentaries are big, and also social media, because now it's becoming more and more common to have the celebrities, share that they're vegan, or the athletes, so and you can basically go on your phone and go on Facebook or Instagram and just put in the word vegan, and tons of stuff pops up, events and pages and hashtags and all of that. So it's definitely been a rise. In the chat, is anyone vegan listening right now? Or has anyone tried veganism, whether it be 2 weeks, a week, month? I know I initially tried it for 2 weeks, and I told my friends, I'm only given 2 weeks. That's it. And I never looked back. In those 2 weeks, I learned so much. I said, whoa, what is this? I've been a trainer for all this time and did not know any of this stuff. So, okay, yeah, we got one. We got one vegan in the house. Yes, yes, yes. So, man, all right. So, being in your community, what have you seen? Ups and downs. What have you seen? Have people, or should I say, what struggles have you seen in our community? And there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the struggles that I've seen are not specifically unique to the vegan community. I think it's a lot of just finding, especially right now, if the biggest struggle that I'm hearing from a lot of our partners, our business owners, is just finding people to work. Finding people who are, and I think with the stimulus and the subsidies that have been given throughout by the government, people are making more money doing that than they are actually working. if they were to get a job, you know what I mean? And then not only that, but there are a lot of people are taking that money and they're investing in their own and creating their own business. So that way they're not put in that situation again. So, I mean, it's like, it's hard to fault people for wanting to, you know, try something different because the old way wasn't working. So that's definitely a struggle that I see a lot of the businesses having. The other thing is just staying, you know, I don't want to create the narrative that vegan businesses are shutting down, but it's just like the nature of, forget what the statistic is for business restaurants, you know, how the percentage of them that shut down versus the amount that stay open. So like I said, it's nothing specific to the vegan community, but I could say to the opposite of that, there are so many businesses that are flourishing, that are opening up multiple locations. You know, shout out to the Burger Hive from, you know, going from the food truck to now they have a brick and mortar location in the Davie area. So that's huge. Planta, who came from Toronto, they have opened up 3 locations in South Florida. The first in the United States was down here. So yes, for every, you know, 1 or 2 businesses that do shut down, there's, you know, an equal amount or even more that are opening up. Not to mention the ghost kitchens, the online only businesses. So there's a lot of great things happening. But I would say those 2 things stand out the most. Just, you know, employee retention, you know, finding the right staff, and, you know, just dealing with the economics of where we are right now.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I didn't realize, but yes, you know, if you think about it, people grew up or were taught, go to school, get education, get a entry level position, and to work your way up, and you hope to get a bonus or a promotion every year. And then we get hit with a pandemic, and it's like you're laid off, or your hours are cut, or you have the same position, but your pay rate is cut. So yes, now people are like, okay, hold on. Maybe I should just create my own business. Maybe I should get into stocks. Stocks is huge right now. The real estate, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, people are being brave now, and they are taking risks, and they're saying, all right, let me be the creator of my own, you know, my own sources of income and stuff like that. But I would see that.
I think whereas No, you're good.
I would feel that you would think that people would, like, it's only so long you can live off of stimulus checks and the unemployment and the PPP loans and stuff like that. Like, at some point, either your businesses need to start bringing in some real revenue, or you got to find a job again. Right? So I still feel that for brick and mortar, or just businesses in general, I think at some point, if we haven't already started to see it, maybe we'll see a drop in people saying, all right, I tried the business thing, because it sounds good. Yes, start your own business, be the CEO, you know, but it's not easy.
No, it is not.
It's not. Granted, I love it. I've been a business owner since my early 20s, but it hasn't been easy. There have been times where I don't know how the car is getting paid. I don't know how the mortgage is getting paid. You know, I've gotten used to it to a point, but it's not easy. It's not easy. So I feel that businesses at some point will be seeing some sort of influx of people like, all right, well, I tried it. I tried the business thing, and it's not moving as fast as I thought. So let me see who is hiring, you know? So I do also feel that stocks has, especially with YouTube and social media that everybody, I don't know what it is, maybe 1 out of every 5 people now is probably involved in stocks or the crypto market or something. So I think that moving forward will also put a shift on the economy and on business and stuff.
Yeah, I think once people see if they see that there isn't going to be another round of stimulus or another sort of package that's coming out, and they don't see any sort of glimmer or hopes of that, I see that people start, going back to the workforce to pay bills, because not everybody has the luxury of trying and trying and trying, especially if you have a family to take care of and things of that nature. It's not just, the decision doesn't just impact you. So I feel like, while you do see people doing that, it's probably more, the single people who have that little bit of cushion to be able to have, a two-person household where they can have at least one person. All right, let's try going for your dreams. Let's try supporting while we have that ability. But yeah, like, you only could do that for so long. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes me think, like, where are people getting all this money from? Because I can't speak for the nation, for all over, because I haven't left Florida since March of 2020. But everywhere is packed. Everywhere is crowded. You go to Wynwood, people are out. Especially now about like the vaccine and stuff. And I don't know if I want to get too deep into all that. That could be a whole nother podcast.
Over here, I'm scratching over here like.
I mean, got the magnets on your arm sticking and stuff. But people have been out. Like, places are beginning to get packed again. Lines for clubs. So I feel like I kind of feel like the fear is over. Like, people are just over it, and they just want to get back to normal. Like, all right, let's go. So,
and I think here in South Florida, we haven't felt it like a lot of other places. It's felt wide open since that first immediate lockdown happened. Where everyone was locked down, and then we were like one of the first to open up. And in reality, it's like,
yeah.
Halloween, it was like, dude, this looks like a busy Las Olas night, and the fact that I was out too kind of was like to see it. But just told on myself. No, but yeah, other than that, it's like, yeah, I love South Florida. I love the fact that people, like, we have the ability to do these sort of things, but at the same time, it's for me, it's like not being a jerk about it. You know what I mean? Like, people respect people, respect, if the person's institution requires you to, they want you to wear a mask, like, that's where I am. It's like, just don't impose your thoughts or your viewpoints on another person, at least without getting to understand or getting to connect with that person. You know what I mean? For me, it's like, just build that connection. Let's build these, let's figure out how we're going to move forward, because regardless if you have your community or you have people that you mess with, at some point that other group of people, they're going to get to play a role in your society. And we get to figure out how we can work together. It's just like in school. You get paired up with students at a table. You can't just be like, well, I only want to hang with these students, so we're not going to work together.
You can't sit with us. Yeah.
No, it's not. That's not how it works. Just like the teacher pairs the students together randomly, the universe pairs us together randomly. And we get to be prepared to connect and learn and grow together. That's how I unpack it, at least.
Yeah. Agreed. On that same note, how has excuse me for a second, how has being in this role as a community organizer, being involved in your community, how has that impacted you personally?
How it is, I mean, it's impacted me in the sense that I'm able to do what I've always loved to do, even as a little 3, 4-year-old at a much grander scale. I get to do it with other people now. You know, my whole thing has always been building, creating worlds, and, you know, watching things come together, and essentially that's storytelling, you know, creating worlds in your head, putting it down on paper, putting it on video. So over time, as I'm creating these worlds, telling stories, you know, I realized that, oh wow, the next level to that is building communities where other people are telling their stories, and you're capturing that, and it's an never-ending loop of people telling stories and connecting with each other. So being a community organizer, getting to do that, essentially, I wouldn't say for a living. Community organizing part is more of just like, you know, what I do, but the media producer part is really, you know, the creation part of it. So mixing those two together is essentially why my gift that I've been given, and I get to exercise that every day and see the results in this community that's continuing to grow, only because everybody in the community is contributing by just doing what they're passionate about. So for me, it's just like this this inception sort of situation going on that makes me smile every day.
Yes, yes. Being, well, for one, do you feel like community is for everyone? And that's an open-ended question.
I personally feel like community is part of everyone's life, whether you're conscious of it or not. You know, you are part of a community when you are connected to people based off of a belief, based off of a common interest, based off of something that you share in common. It doesn't even have to be an interest. You know, once you start to be cognizant of that and build systems and structures around that, you're building a community. You know, South Florida is a community. Whether or not we're connected or not, that's another question. But we are a community. It just depends on what you want to connect to. You know, think about when you're in high school, middle school, and you're going to the cafeteria, and you're going to these different tables, these different tribes, these different cliques. These are all little micro communities within a larger community, and you just call it whatever you want. You want to call it a society, you want to call it a city. These are all things that we're naturally gravitated towards because we, you know, that's just how we're built. And so yes, community is for everyone, and yeah, it's one of my favorite concepts in the world.
Yeah. Community is everywhere. Like you mentioned, it's in the schools. You know, when you're growing up, kids want to belong. Kids want to fit in, right? You go to prison, you know, same thing. You feel protected with these individuals. You're aware, or, you know, of those other individuals. At work too, you may gravitate to certain people on staff, you know. The bosses you may or may not, you know, want to hang around. You know, so yeah. So community is definitely, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, community is definitely part of all of us. Do you have any stories on pushback in your tribe, in your journey, being involved in your community? Has there been a individual or a company or anything where they either did not like you, they did not like what you were doing, or they just gave you challenges, anything like that?
So there's this one vegan business that's here in South. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if that was my answer? I'll go back to one of my earlier communities. When the first community that I put together was this wrestling. I was really into wrestling back in the day when I was in high school. I still watch it a little bit now, but I'm trying to pretend like when I was in high school, when I was watching Macho Man Randy Savage, and I know all the wrestlers right now. I had a wrestling role-playing federation. So we had like 60 people at its max. People would write stories. Essentially, it was like a writing club. I would write stories. I would judge them, put together a whole show, like a 20-page show every Thursday and Tuesday, put it out there. People watched it, and it was fun. What happened was one of the role players, I would say, decided that they wanted to start their own organization and started recruiting people and pulling them. And that was like a huge betrayal to me. It was like, wow, the first time I experienced something like that. And what ended up happening, and this was a lesson for me later in my life, and it's how I like to move now, whenever I feel like I'm having a disagreement or I'm at odds with a person, the lesson I learned from that was I still offered my support to that person, to that individual. I still was like, you know what, if you need anything, I understand you have to do what you had to do. I wish you the best of luck. Let's stay affiliated. You know, if you need any support, you need to reach out. What ended up happening was after a few weeks, they realized, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy to do, you know, they didn't see, you know, me spending all of my spare time doing all that work, you know, insanity ensuing. So they ended up coming back, and that person ended up being like my number 2 in the organization, and I grew a deeper respect for each other, and ended up like taking stuff to the next level, because now instead of competing against me, we're working together. And I think they had a newfound appreciation for the work that I was doing. So their enthusiasm helped enroll a lot more people into what we were creating. So I brought that story up only to say that, you know, the way I look at it, I guess I can get into my feelings in certain situations, especially if I feel like, you know, people, whatever the situation, I didn't want to bring that negative energy up right there. But for me, it's about just looking at that vision, looking at what I'm up to, what I'm creating, knowing that if I focus on that and not on this temporary thing that's going to pass, you know, it's going to pass somehow. I focus on that. What I'm creating isn't just for me. What I'm creating is for that individual. And when that individual sees, you know, the fruits of that starting to blossom, then they're going to realize, oh, wow, this is something that could support everybody and not just Sean, not just, you know, people who are partners. That's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to create a platform for everybody to succeed, create our own news media, create our own, you know, marketing for events that are out there that you just have to, you know, plug your information into. That's what we're creating with Soulflow Vegans, but it starts small baby steps as we continue to build relationships, build the numbers, build the access, and then the community can then benefit from it. So yeah, that's a really long, all over the place answer, but that's.
No, so you don't hear that a lot. You don't hear that a lot. You hear the opposite outcome. You hear bridges being burned. You know, you hear, all right, well, they're trying to sabotage my business. Well, let me go and try to ruin their business. You hear a lot of revenge. You hear a lot of malice. So is that something, has that happened to you in earlier stages in your life? And is that something that you've kind of carried on throughout? Or is that something that in that moment you just had to learn?
I mean, I look back at a lot of situations. I don't get into a lot of conflicts, and I found that the reason why I don't get into a lot of conflicts is I go head on. You know, if they're, you know, I remember in middle school there was like the biggest bully in the school, in the entire school. You know, got into a situation, just went straight up to the person's face, and wasn't going to hit him, but I wasn't going to back down. And that situation ended up kind of like being the MO of how I move. It's like if someone's saying something about me, I'm not going to let it fester up inside of me. I'm going to reach out to that person and I'm going to find out what's going on. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to address it because I don't like that energy flowing around me. You know, I don't hate anybody. You know, I don't make the time to hate people. That's futile to me. I'd rather just focus on what I do love, what I do appreciate, double down on that, and create the space where that person can then find a role in that. It may not be being, you know, my best friend in a situation. I'm not, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I do feel a certain way about things, and at the same time, I can't exclude people from what I'm creating. That defeats the purpose of building a community to create exclusion. Now, how you fit in can look different, 100%. And I'm not in a space where it's like, you know, I'm deading people. That's energy that's gonna impact you more than it impacts the other person.
Mm. Mm. I like that. I like that. I've dealt with my fair share of that in the fitness industry. I've had, you know, clients who 1 month they're training with you and you are the best trainer ever. It's the best since gluten-free sliced bread and all of this. And then the next month they're training with another trainer and they're the best trainer. And then 6 months later they're training with another trainer, all in the same gym.
Oh, wow.
Like, how does that work? How are you able to I never understood that. But I like that. I like how you see the bigger picture. You know, you definitely see the bigger picture because it requires energy. It requires effort to be upset, to hold malice, to carry that, and you know, carry that weight on you. So, I think that's very powerful, sir. Surely, surely. All right. So now I would like to know currently what is going on with Soulflow Vegans. Those in the chat, if have you ever been to a Soulflow Vegan event? Put it in the chat, or just in general, have you ever attended a vegan event, a vegan conference, a veg fest, a grand opening of a vegan restaurant, anything like that? What is currently popping right now with Soulflow Vegans? Talk to us.
All right. So yeah, right now with Soulflow Vegans, we just came off a string of show events that we were part of, either vending or just, you know, showing up and showing support. So now we're focusing on a big event, one of the biggest events that we've actually helped put together. Both Soulflow Vegans and Melissa Guzman from the Caribe Vegan, and she did the Vegan Village. I want to say 2020 or 2009, maybe 2020, called Vegan Village. We're teaming together and we're doing the first 100% vegan night market in South Florida. And that's going to take place in the Mass District location. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we're super excited about it. We have a bunch of amazing vendors already signing up. It's, I don't know if I said the date, July 17th. It's going to be a great event. If you haven't been to the art walks in the Mass District for downtown Fort Lauderdale area, they've been doing it, you know, for the last couple of months now. So the crowds are really starting to pick up. So that same area is where we're going to be holding it. And you're going to start seeing more. We're starting to trickle out the promotions this week. So I'm actually going to be meeting with the team tomorrow. We're going to be putting together some really amazing stuff. So if you don't know about it now, you're definitely going to know about it in the next couple of weeks. Free event, come through, family friendly. It's going to be dope.
And you said that is July 17th?
July 17th from 6 to 10.
That's a Saturday.
That's going to be a Saturday. So, you know, come. We have a bunch of amazing food vendors that are going to be there, food trucks. Stop by the Soulflow Vegans giveaways, wheels, you know, handouts, a lot of cool stuff, you know, and the big thing about Soulflow Vegans is, we have a lot of people volunteering, supporting, lending their gifts to what we're creating, so we can create this model that lives long past myself or anybody that's currently on there right now. So that's the big part of the community aspect of it. And we also have, ways for you, if you grow with the organization, to generate revenue, to use your gifts and some of the marketing services we offer our partners that sign up and get promotion through us, through our news outlet. So yeah, there's a lot of things with this community. I'm taking from what I've learned in the past and adding it to now. And we're working on some innovative stuff right now that a lot of people don't know about unless you're part of the community. So we have that. We also have a lot of digital content. The podcast is still coming out. We're in season 6, getting ready to go to season 7. Season 7, we're going to be trying something a little new. So we're going to play around with the format, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So we still have a few episodes left for season 6. So tune into that, soulflowvegans.com/podcast. We have a live interview with Josie Clements from Hell's Kitchen. She's the first fully vegan guest contestant on the show. If you haven't watched the show, or you've never watched the show before, definitely check it out. Catching up on the season, really, it's cool to kind of see how veganism is playing a role in the season. There's a lot of interesting questions. So we're doing a live interview with her this Thursday at 4:00. So you can tune in just like how you're tuning in live and ask questions and kind of see how her experience was. So those are just a few things. We have a lot more, but the best way is just to go on our website, become a member. We send out a lot of valuable content to our members, but we also have a newsletter that we send out periodically that you can stay up on as well.
Nice. All right. I like that. One more time for that event, I'm going to put it in the chat. It is July 17th. It's a Saturday.
I don't think I said the name of the event. Maybe I didn't. It's Veg Night Out is the event. Veg Night Out.
Veg Night Out. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be launching. Right now, it's up on Eventbrite. We have it on our meetup page. If you go to our Soulflow Vegans Facebook page, it's there as well. We're in the process of launching the actual official web page for it. So you'll get to learn more about all the vendors and sponsors from that page.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Good. Okay. Appreciate nice. Of course. And then they can also check you out at soulflowvegans.com.
Soulflowvegans.com is the hub. We have a mobile app. Search for it as Soulflow Vegans as well. We have, once you sign up as a member, you're going to be able to get access to our members Slack channel, where if you want to volunteer at any of these events, you want to do some stuff behind the scenes, let's say you're a media producer, we're looking for people who know social media, video production, photographers, all these events, people are volunteering their time so we can promote these organizations at no cost. But like I mentioned, as you continue to work and support what we're doing, we do have opportunities, not even just through partners through Soulflow Vegans. The majority of the clients that I have through Lasaris Media are in this space as well. So I'm always looking for talent for that. And at the same time, because of the position that we have in the community, a lot of businesses globally and locally reach out to us for recommendations on hires and stuff. So I'm looking for, if I'm working with you, I can give you a better recommendation if you just come up to me and say, hey, do you know any opportunities? So planning to do, we're actually working on fleshing out the volunteer program. We launched something recently called the Council. So I have 7 people that are working closely behind the scenes on a day-to-day basis that are helping, and they're all diverse from different backgrounds, and they help in the decision-making process for a lot of the events, a lot of the initiatives that we do. So that's part of the volunteer program as well. So a lot of cool things we're going to start telling you more about in future emails and videos and things of that nature. But it's all part of that learning process of how do you continue to grow and create that sustainable community that lives long past any of us.
Nice. Okay. I like. Yes, indeed. So as a fellow vegan, I'm going to put you on blast.
Uh-oh.
Just a little bit. That's a little bit. Um, what is so somebody who is either currently vegan or maybe new to veganism, and they are looking for amazing food.
Mm.
Um, top three,
No.
top five, or what would you recommend? What area? Anything? What can you
All
give
right.
give
So
us?
I'll do this.
Fresh.
I'll do this because I don't like answering like what my top three are, because a lot of times I just go to places that are closer to me. So it's not, if I were to say, "Hey, here's my top three," it may be perceived as like these are what I think are the top three in South Florida because of my background. So, but what I will say are the last three that I went to.
Okay.
Okay, the last three that I went to and had a good meal. So I would say Rabbit Hole is probably the most recent one that I went to. You just finished, I bought a lot for a few days, and I just finished the last bit of. Actually, I have more.
I haven't
Yay.
been there yet.
Oh, they're really good. They're really
I've been
good.
hearing about that a lot, but I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, like comfort food, strong comfort food. I would say, and then there's two in Miami that there's actually one that we both talked about that I'll mention since we both talked about it. But one that I constantly go to because I love the atmosphere, and a big thing I like to do when I go to vegan places is I like to just pop up my laptop because I'm always like working because I actually love what I do. So I'm always working. Love Life Cafe. I love the ambiance, and their sushi, the Shido brand that they have in there, probably some of the best sushi I've ever eaten. And I was heavy in the Japanese anime, so I was a super like eating sushi all the time when I wasn't vegan. Excellent. Check them out, but also the ambiance and everything else they have there. The bowls are great. So Love Life is another one. And then a more recent one that I discovered, I've actually had the opportunity to eat. Amazing burger, amazing atmosphere, like nothing I've ever seen before. Like just, I was there on a Tuesday. I'm like teasing who it is. I was there on a Tuesday, and like legit, I saw like 5 NFL athletes. I saw influencers, hip hop artists. You're on the phone with 2 Chainz. It was just like, what is going on? And so Organic Food Kings, like if you just want an experience, get some good food, see, just hang out, see what happens. It's a cool spot in Wynwood. So I would definitely say those are the last 3 that I've kind of, recently had memory. But obviously, go on our directory. We have rankings of a lot of different businesses that people on our website have voted for. Like Yellow was the number one. I love Yellow. I love Yellow.
I haven't been to Yellow.
Oh, they're great. They have lunch hours, so they end at 6. But definitely, if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, check them out.
Sure.
A lot of other bomb cookies. There's so many places out there. Like literally, we have 200 plus people who are supporting Soulflow Vegans in this community. And yeah, I would say check out our directory to see that full list. Those are the last 3 that I had recently. And actually, Organic Food Kings we talked about earlier today. So I put them on that list.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't mention you, I still love you. It's all love. It's all love.
Yes. I can imagine now thinking about it, because I've probably been to 30 or 40 different vegan spots, or spots with vegan options or something like that. So I can imagine you've probably like, all right, so I'll ask this. Is there any vegan spot that you have not had a chance to go to yet?
That's good. One that I was looking at today, and a lot of these is like no rhyme or reason. I just haven't, So Plantisserie is definitely on my list of
That
places
is good.
That's how you say Plantisserie?
Yes.
They're on my list of
That
places.
shepherd's pie.
Okay.
That lasagna. Yeah.
Okay. So them for sure. Thatch, I've heard things about it. I haven't
That
been
is
to.
really good too.
I haven't been to that one. Sprouty Pie, that's one I want to get out to. It's way up north, North Palm Beach, I want to say.
Okay.
So they have pizza place. Their pizza place. So they're ones that I really want to try. So those are the three that pop into my head that like I have on my little checklist that I want to go and stop by. And then there's a few new places that we've partnered up with that I have on my list. So one of the things that I'm doing more, because I've been doing this for 5 years now, and like, you know, it's almost like I hate to use this analogy, but it's like, you know, when you're a parent, and you can relate, when you're a parent, the things that you used to do, you're not as interested, but you are interested in seeing it through the eyes of another person.
Right.
That's where I'm kind of at in my stage of Soulflow Vegans. I'm less interested in going to all the places because I've kind of done that. I'm more interested in, you know, building a team and seeing their experience and seeing them have a good time and do all the things that I've had the great fortune of doing. So that's why we're really heavily on like the volunteers and getting people as part of our crew, so we can give them that experience. They can speak to the owner. They can have, you know, sample some new items that maybe no one else has had before. So that's one of the big things we're looking to do with Soulflow Vegans. So if you are that type of person, you like to be on camera and you're excited and passionate about veganism, reach out. Let us know. We're always looking to build our team.
There we go. I know a lot of y'all love being on camera. I see you on camera all the time. So this is an opportunity for you to be a part of your community. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you come to the portion of our show where if you watch our show, you know this is color time. Color time. So this portion, I will name random colors. And for each color, you will just share with us a word, a couple of words, a phrase, or even a short story, anything that comes to mind. It can be super deep and spiritual. It can be pretty vague, pretty logical. There is no right or wrong answer, just whatever comes to your mind.
Okay, I like this.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Those in the chat, feel free to throw in some color ideas as well. Here we go. Color number one. It's the color that you're wearing right now. Black.
Oh man, black, cool, comfort. It's trendy. It's inclusive. It's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the source. You know, that's black to me. It's my favorite, one of my favorite colors.
Mm-hmm. See? In the chat. Oh, look at this. They don't know you very well, Sean. They called you a wonderful hearted human being. With a vision.
You guys, you're missing the mark. You're getting it all wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate it. Thank you.
The vision, heart. Yeah, man. See? Good. All right. Color number two. You have a lot of colors in your background, so I'm going to cheat and use some of those. Here we go. Color number two. White.
White is bright. It is endless.
Mm.
It is large, empty.
Mm.
It's blank, and I think possibilities.
Okay. Huh. I think you're one of the few people who did not say pure. All right.
No, I honestly, I think black is. I put pure more with black, in terms of like the color of the idea of it. It's like it's white for me. It's like the absence of, where black is more of like, you know, what everything is combined.
Okay. I like that. Here we go. Color number three. Let's go with blue.
Blue.
Actually, so I'm going to break down blue. Hold on. So let's go with sky blue.
Sky blue, I would say, is dreams. It's I'll go with possibilities again. Another one that I used before. I would say sky blue is thin. It's
Hmm.
it's. I'm thinking like oxygen. It's like grasping for more.
Hmm.
It's that hunger. I would say sky blue is hunger. If I had to use one word, I'd say sky blue is hunger.
Hmm. Okay. I've been seeing sky blue a lot. I saw sky blue in a dream. I saw a sky blue car in one of my dreams, and now I see sky blue everywhere. So,
Mm.
okay. Now let's go with royal blue.
Hmm. Royal blue, I think richness. I think dense. I think intimidating. I
Hmm.
feel you say majestic. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna go with a color that is synonymous with vegans. Green.
Green abundance.
Yes.
I would say earth, health.
Okay.
I don't know. Love. I'm seeing love. I'm seeing love. I'm seeing love.
Okay. Abundance, health, love. I can dig that. I can dig that. Let's keep going. How about red?
Red. I see flow. I see connection.
Mm.
I see caution. I see safety,
Mm.
and I see urgency.
You don't have me meditating tonight. For real. Okay. We're gonna go um, to a color that hmm, is usually positive for most of my guests, but I did have one person who was pretty negative with this color. So, how about brown?
I knew that was the color. Uh, I see sweet. I see charming. I see cool. I see I see misunderstanding.
Hmm.
I see compassion.
Hmm. Misunderstanding why.
Feel brown is so closely associated with things that have a negative connotation. And in
Hmm.
reality, even in that understanding of what brown could be, that particular thing is as natural as everything else that's in the world. It's just we decide to put energy on it. So I feel like that same connection to brown, I'm talking about feces, that connection to brown is also shows itself in other ways in society. And I feel like through not having that understanding of what brown truly can represent, that there's a misunderstanding of what it is. And people are taking whatever they're feeling and adding that energy onto it.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. This is another color that maybe is misunderstood. It's been kind of half and half. Some people love it, and no, sorry, I'm wrong. Some people hate it, and some people accept it. Uh, this color is known as maybe something in the middle, on the fence, or maybe the best of both worlds. I don't know. This color is gray.
Mm. Gray is one of my favorite colors.
Hmm.
I love gray because it reminds me that I like to live in a world that's not black and white. I like choices. So gray reminds me that I have a choice in terms of how I move and how I see the world. So gray is one of my favorite colors, steel blue, which is a combination of gray and blue.
Okay.
But yeah, gray just reminds me of possibilities. It reminds me of connection. It reminds me of that we're not living in a simplistic world. This is super complicated, and we get to make up whatever whatever we feel the world is, and gray is that representative for me.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. We have only three more colors. Three more colors. There we go. Next color is, this is a color that girls usually like. Um, Not saying that it's girly, but usually associate this color with girls. This color is pink.
Pink, I see love. I see feminine energy. I feel it's pink is a press. And what I mean by that is it pushes us to feel one way or another. People, when they see pink, there's usually an emotion attached to it, good or bad. So I feel like when you see pink, it's a press for you to explore your emotions in one way or another, whether it's your pink rose to someone you love, or you know, pushing away from wearing a pink item of clothing for whatever cultural beliefs you have. It's like it creates. I feel like it's one of the more powerful colors in the spectrum.
Hmm. I would agree that it is powerful. Pink is powerful. Huh. Okay. Two more colors. There we go. Should I get complex, y'all? Should I go into colors? You know that crayon box, and it started with the 4, then the 8, then it went to the 16 and the 32 and the 64. Oh man. All right, here we go. Just saying, go for it. This next color, um, I like. I like this color. This color shines bright. Um, and we're gonna actually break this color down into two colors, just because I feel it's that powerful. So here we go. So first color in this set is yellow.
Mm. Yellow is heavy. Yellow is yellow is fun. It's energetic. And the last word I want to use for yellow is innocence.
Innocence. Okay. Okay. Um, the second half or second part, it's a different color, but I feel part of the same family unit. This color is gold.
Mm. Gold, I see I see abundance. I see softness.
Hmm.
I see possibility for great things. At the same time, I see temptation.
Okay.
And yeah, I would stick with those.
Hmm. Did you say that color is safe?
Gold?
Yeah.
No, I don't see safe.
Okay. 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 Final color. You guys already know what color this is because I seem to always save this color for last. This is now my favorite color. I've been red for so long, and around my son, um, I still say red. Red is my favorite color. But in this Blaze 2.0, I've gravitated to a new color. So this color, last but not least, this color is purple.
Purple, legacy, purple, depth, complexity. I'm gonna give you one more. Purple, I see elegance.
Elegance, elegance. I can dig that. I can dig that. I can dig that. In the chat, we have rich and classy. For yellow, we have ray of sunshine. Sky blue, seeking, hunger, receiving. Okay. Indeed, indeed. I can dig it. I can dig it. So I would like to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do, for all the work that you put in, for bringing your laptop to these delicious vegan spots, putting in that work to inspire, to motivate, to educate. Um, you've done well, and I know that with all the work that you have done, there is so much more in store. And you're planting the seeds right now, no pun intended, you're vegan and all, but you are planting the seeds, and those seeds are not in vain. Those seeds are growing and they are maturing. And those same people that you inspire will in turn plant seeds of their own. And this continues to go. So you are definitely a major facet. You're a major entity and force in this culture, in this community, and I truly want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you are doing day in and day out. With that said, with that said, as a vegan, how much can you bench press?
How much can I bench press?
Joking.
Yeah, well, it's my protein. You know, I got to up my protein to make sure that I'm joking.
Yeah. At all. But I do want to say, in closing, is there a quote, a famous quote, a quote of your own, a short story, or just any gems that you would like to leave with our listeners tonight?
Before I do that, I'm just pointing right now. You see that guy on my banner?
Oh,
right there. See who that is?
Oh.
Does it look familiar? No. I would say, first of all, I do want to give a shout out to Leaves and Roots Lounge. They are, I call them the unofficial headquarters of Soulflow Vegans. You'll always either find myself or Albo there. I love that spot. Like yesterday, I literally worked there from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. I love that spot. So I definitely want to give him a shout out. So, I mean, words is it's work on yourself. I mean, if that's one thing I'm going to say and put a period on that, you get to work on yourself. For me, I learned that before I can love someone else, before I can help the community. I get to work on myself. I get to do that work, unpack, get that awareness of where I am, where I'm operating from, because that's not to say that my life is perfect, that I don't have things that I can still work on, but what it has allowed me to do, and it wasn't I just read some books, I actually went through courses and had help and support and coaches and things of that nature. What that does for me is that it doesn't give me any excuse. I'm at a point in my life where I'm the author of what I create in my life. And I get to decide what energy I put on that. And with that gives me choice, and choice is powerful. You'll be able to choose how you want to act and respond in a situation, and see the evidence of that practice happen time and time again. The positive aspects of that practice, I should say. So I would say work on yourself, because even in going vegan, it's important that you know why, your why. Yeah. Because without that, if you're doing it for someone else, if you're just trying it out, get a grip on that. Understand that's your why. You just want to do it, because then that's going to help you, sustain that. And then take out veganism and put anything else in that slot. And the whole same holds true. Why are you deciding to open your own business? Why are you launching the podcast? Why are you in this relationship? Why are you fill in the blank? Be clear on what that why is, and that's going to help you out in the long term. So self-awareness, figure out what your why is, and then just keeping those two things connected tightly. And that's going to take you a long way.
Can't get any more simple, effective, or powerful than that. 3 words right there. Work on yourself. Yeah, that's what we need. That's not a destination, right? That's a journey. That's a journey.
Yeah, there's no doing it right, just doing it.
Right? Yes. Many times we are perfectionists, and we're waiting for that. We're waiting for ourselves to get to that certain level, that certain point, but we're waiting on that perfect time or that perfect season. And there is no perfect time. The time is now. You'll never know everything. I'm sure when you first got started, you didn't know everything, and it's certain things like what you did in those first few events. Over the years, you've been able to tweak and learn from. So you learn along the way,
You can't buy experience. You cannot buy experience.
True. Also, one more time, share with people how they can reach you. How can they be a part of the movement?
So if you want to be a part of the movement, you're on Instagram, go to Soulflow Vegans. Everything is Soulflow Vegans with an S on the end of it. Facebook. We're on TikTok. We don't use it as much, but anywhere you go, you'll be able to connect with us. Best way is to go to soulflowvegans.com/support, because we put all of our different socials, our podcasts, everything you can do to connect with us is on that page. So if you want to support Soulflow, share that link as well. And just keep following us. It's not just what Soulflow Vegans does. I mentioned the Veg Night Out, but we promote every event. Where there's no blacklisting over here. You have an event, let us know about it. We'll add it to our calendar. We have a team that as soon as we find out about an event, they're ready to post it. So let us know. Reach out to us. We don't charge you to promote you. You know what I mean? It's a free service that we set up so that way we can bring the community together. So just reach out to us.
Oh, there you go. And for those listening now, and what happened here? For those listening now, and for those who will be listening to the audio, as the audio will be available tomorrow on all streaming platforms, your Spotify, your Google Play, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, all that. The event, I will be there. All right, it's a Saturday, so I have no excuse. I can't say that I work. I don't teach classes Saturday night. So I will be there, all right? July 17th. Mark your calendars, all right? You will see this space here. You will see That face there. Yes, that famous face there. You will meet some of the Soulflow Vegan team, and you'll get to try out, man, amazing vegan food. If you've never tried vegan food, or if you still feel that vegans just eat lettuce all day, or we just eat like rabbits, like you are so far behind, catch up. All right, there's a whole new world out there. Anything you can think of, any ethnic dish or dessert, or even alcoholic beverage, anything you can think of that you love, that you can't live without, there is a vegan version.
Mm-hmm.
And in my experience, because I haven't been vegan all my life, I've only been vegan 4 years and counting. Um, Many times the vegan version is better.
Mm.
Just saying. And you feel different. My mom would always tease me and say, after she eats vegan food, she feels lighter. She
Mhm.
feels healthier. And I was like, you can't really feel healthier after one meal. But it does the way how it goes to your body, and not to break down science and all that other stuff, but it definitely is different. So yes, indeed. So July 17th, the event is called Veg Night Out.
That's
Yes,
it.
Mass District in Fort Lauderdale, which is like the Wynwood version of Broward, kind of.
So what I will say is when Wynwood started to get, super fancy, a lot of those people who helped put it together, like kind of build that district to what it is now, ended up coming to Broward County, and they started getting shops in the Flagler Arts District, Fat Village, as well as Mass District. So we're experiencing like the year 5 of Wynwood right now. So if you want to get that, if you weren't around to experience what Wynwood used to be, before it got super fancy, come over to the Mass District area, and you're going to be able to get that artistic art feel that hasn't been, it's not at that stage yet. And I love Wynwood. I'm just saying, there's a lot of development still happening. It's a lot of newness in this area. So it's worth stopping by. Obviously, come check our event out. But every month, the last Saturday of each month, they have the art walk. And I would say come by this month. We're going to be set up as well, and check it out for yourself. It's amazing stuff they have going on there.
Do they have events like every weekend, or is it once a month, or?
So they have, just like how we have our event, they have other organizations that have events. They have the Sunnyside Market, which is a day market that is, I want to say, is the second Sunday of every month that they have. And then they have, like, they just had a Caribbean parade, like a Jamaican parade the other day. So there's a lot of stuff happening. They're like, I just saw their calendar for the rest of the year, and they're pretty much almost booked out. So a lot of stuff happening. Even if you're not vegan, they're not a vegan like district or anything, but they definitely support. Obviously, Leaves and Roots is in that district, and we are a creative member of that group as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, the Leaves and Roots is right there.
Yeah, it's like right dead in the center of Mass District, and so it's, and then I have a history with them too. I've seen them where they were 4 years ago, 3 years ago, to where they are now. That's why I'm like so gun ho on like talking about them, because they put in the work. They've built something that is amazing, and I want more people to know about it.
Yes. Promote, put it out, man. Let's build this movement. Let's build our community with so much negativity, so much drama. For those who are listening to last week's episode talking about gun violence, that's the reality, right? That's the reality in our communities right now. But this week I wanted to highlight some of the positives, and food. Yes, food and entertainment and fellowship and gathering and networking, all that still goes on in our community. So don't be afraid to go out and get some good food and meet some good people. And you never know, even if you're a business owner, and you want to expand your business, you want to get ideas, you want to meet and greet people. Events like this are great way as well. So yes, yes, yes. Again, I would like to say thank you to tonight's guest, Mr. Sean Russell, for his time, carving out time out of his busy schedule. Um, Continue that work. We need it. With all going on right now, we need it. We definitely need it. So again, thank you. Um, all that you do and putting us on to laugh again, to smile again, to meet people, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate what you're doing as well, for sure.
Thank you, my brother. This is the Blaze the Lion podcast. Peace and love.